Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create tabs in Adobe InDesign. Tabs are a function of typography that we use a lot, and it's important to know how that works. And in your next assignment, you're going to take your logo and you're actually going to make a menu card and a listing of food items. And the food items listing is going to have, dot, 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 and then the price. And we've seen this, this is a very typical way of setting text for items that have price, and especially menus. So without further ado, let's go to share. I'm going to share my screen. And I've opened up a page in InDesign, which I'm going to show you how to do tabs. But before I do that, I'm going to go over to this page here and back out of this. And this is what you're going to create in your next assignment. You are going to take the logo that you have designed for your restaurant, and that's going to go up here. You're going to follow this layout to a T. So you're going to do you're going to lay out elements on this page exactly the way you see them. You are, however, going to have a different name. This restaurant here is called the Iron Chef Bar and Grill, but yours will be different. You'll have a different logo here. You'll have a different photograph of food, which you will choose. You will have different menu listings that you show. This is a little blurb of copy that you'll write for your restaurant. There are two photographs in this, one on the cover and one on the back, and these are, again, of your choosing, so it is not these particular photos here. But what you will be required to do is use the same typeface, the same size, the same color, and all of that. The layout has to look like this. If I zoom into this a little bit, let's go in, we can see that this text box here is comprised of text that has what we call leader dots. And this is a tab. So we would type the text, we would hit the tab key, and by programming the tab functions, we can program them to have anything in between a tab stop. First of all, we have to establish a tab stop, and then we have to determine what happens in between that tab stop, whether they're dots, whether they're dashes, bullet points, whatever. We're also going to insert a tab stop that is a right justified tab stop, so that when we type the prices, they go to the left and they flush up against the right side of the text box. And I will show you how to do that in a minute. We're also going to, once we do this, we're going to set up paragraph and character styles so that when you create the rest of the copy, it'll be very easy to apply those paragraph styles and the character styles, and you can then format the rest of this text very quickly. Okay, so the first thing that I did, just to save time, is I copied all of this text as if the client is sending you the text in a Microsoft Word document or a text file or whatever. And they send you the raw copy, and then you are copying and pasting this into your text box, and then you're going to format that text box into a type size, type style, color, and then the tab stops. Okay, so let's go over to this box here, or this file here. And this is the text that I copied from that assignment. And you can see that it's kind of the raw text. All right, this is the way the client would send it to you. And I had mentioned before that a lot of, making this work efficiently and quickly is for you to communicate with your client and tell your client exactly how you want that copy to be sent to you. And they're not going to format anything. They're not going to set typefaces or sizes. But what you do ask them for is just, you might give them a style and say, I want you to type in the headings first, and then underneath that, each individual item listing, a space, and then the price. Okay, a space and then the price, and so forth. So that we have soups and salads, light dishes, main course. What you're going to do is ultimately set this up in this kind of format, typeface, gray text, and so forth. Okay, but they're giving you all of that raw information that you're going to need. Okay, so I'm going to just back out of this and pull this off to the side here. Okay. First of all, we have to determine, what the layout is going to be. So we would set up the menu, we would set up the layout, the photos, maybe put the photos in, and then we would set the text. And we would be concerned about how wide that text box is. So I'm going to grab the text tool, and I'm going to come over here to this page, and I'm going to set a text box. And we're going to assume that this text box is the right width that the layout is going to fit in. Okay, we've determined that this is the size of this text box. Okay, and that's important, especially when you're setting up tabs, because you're setting up tabs to a specific width. So later on, if you change the width of your text box, what's going to happen is that your tabs are always going to be set at that width. So if you make the text box shorter, that's going to kind of screw up your tab system. If you make it longer, the tabs will always still stay here. And even though the text box is longer, the tabs aren't going to move until you move them manually. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to copy this first section of text right here. Let me just do Command-C, come over to my text, and just text box, and just paste that in. Okay, so we're working with, and let me zoom in on that so that you can see. Okay. The first thing we want to do is we want to have our typography palette configuration out here so that we have paragraph and character styles. And it'd be a good idea to put paragraph styles and character styles in the same set right here. You can see this little set right there is both of those, because we're going to be using both of these again, kind of like what we did in the Gelson's brochure. The first thing I want to do is set up my sizes and my point sizes and my typeface choice. And I know that I'm going to be using Myriad Pro. So I'm going to be using Myriad Pro Condensed for this text here, and Myriad Pro Bold Condensed for the soups and salads. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to highlight this text. I'm going to come over to my typeface menu. I'm going to choose Myriad Pro. Actually, I'm going to choose Myriad Pro Condensed. Okay, so it's going to look like that. The size that I'm going to use, and the size isn't really important right now, but you will choose the size. I'll give you all the instructions as to what size you're going to use. But the size, we'll keep this at, well, let's bring it down a little bit. So make it 10 points. I also want the color of this text to be in black at 60%. Okay, so we'll just make that 60%. Okay, so that's kind of the way I want this set up. I want the soups and salads. Okay, now this is going to be a character style. The rest of this is going to be a paragraph style. And I want to make sure that I differentiate the two, because this cannot be a paragraph style up here. Okay, the soups and salads, though, I'll stylize that right now. And that's going to be Myriad Pro. And that's going to be Bold Condensed. So I'll choose Bold Condensed. And I will make that, I'll leave that at 12 points. Okay, this text over here is 10 points, but this text is going to be at 12 points. Okay, I want to now set my tab stops, and then I'm going to make a paragraph style and a character style. So in this order, you want to import your text or copy and paste your text. You're going to then format your text into the typeface, the color, the size. Then you're going to create your tab stop, and then you're going to create your paragraph style and character style. So in that order. Okay, so how do we create tabs in a text box? What we do is we, now we don't need tabs here for soups and salads. I need tabs for cream for all of this. So I'm going to highlight this text and I'm going to go up to type and I'm going to go down to tabs. Okay, and you're going to see a ruler pop out. And the ruler pops out exactly the width of your text box. So if it was longer, the ruler would be longer. You can see the end of your text box here with this arrow and the beginning of your text box here. You also have a bunch of tab stops that you can insert in this ruler. This is a left justified tab stop and then a centered tab stop and so forth. This is a right justified tab stop, and this is the one that we're going to use. This is the one that we want. So we're going to select that, and it doesn't matter where you put it in this gray bar. You're just going to click in this gray bar, but we really want that tab stop to be at the very end. So I'm just going to click anywhere in this gray bar and it puts that tab stop there. And I'm going to grab that tab stop and just move it. And you can see the black line move. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter where you click because you can always move this tab stop. And I'm going to slowly bring it over to the very end. Oops, just kind of went beyond that here. So let me put that right there. Okay. And then let me just hit this magnification, and that will, if you go over and this kicks in a little bit, just hit this little position panel and it'll reset there. Okay, so I have a right justified tab stop right at the end of my text box. It tells me what position that tab stop is at. Okay, under leader, this is what you're going to get when you hit the tab. You're going to get, right now we're going to get nothing. So if I hit a tab in here, it's just going to push that $3 over to the corner. But what I want is ... Okay, and that's a period. So I'm going to go into the leader window and I'm going to type a period, just a period on my keyboard. And then when I hit the tab key, after I insert my cursor here and I hit the tab key, you'll see that I have a leader dot periods that go all the way across. And because I used a right justified tab stop, the text backs off from the edge of the right side of the text box. So I can now just insert my cursor on each entry and hit the tab key, insert it there, hit the tab key, insert it here, hit the tab key. And now I have my leader dots. Now you can't control the size of these leader dots. That's part of what InDesign is doing. But you can, determine, I could have this be dashes, or if I highlighted all of this and I change the period to, let's say, dashes, okay, and then kind of hit that, you can see that they're now changed to dashes instead of periods. Let me back that off here. Okay, but I want dots. I mean, this could be anything. It could be bullet points, or, if I did option 8 here and made it bullet points, highlighted all of this and click bullet points here. Made all of these bullet points. Clicked OK. Right. Actually, all of these have to change to bullet points too. Option 8. Okay. And then they all change to bullet points. Okay. But what I want is periods, or dots. So I'll highlight everything and I'll make this a period. And then I'll just click down here and they all become that. Okay, so that is how you set a tab with leader dots. Now, let's make a paragraph style out of this and then a character style out of the headings. So I'm going to highlight everything. Now that I have everything the way I want, I'm going to go to paragraph styles and I'm going to click a new paragraph style. I'm going to double click on that. It's going to pick up all of the formatting of these tabs. I'm going to go up to this and I'm going to call this food items. Okay, and if I look at my tabs here, you can see that my tab stops have picked up. Okay, food items, click OK. And that's now a style in my paragraph styles here. Okay, now I'm going to go over to soups and salads. I'm going to highlight that and get out my character styles. And I'm going to create a character style of that. And I'm going to call this food headings. Okay, and if you notice under formats, it's picked up the Myriad Pro bold condensed. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. So now that says food headings. All right, so I have a style, a character style for this, and a paragraph style for this. Now it's going to be easy. Let me back out of this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my ruler here. And now if I highlight the rest of this copy and Command C, bring it over here into my main text box, and I'll hit the return twice and go Command V. Okay. And you can see that it's pasted everything. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to start applying these styles. Okay, I'm going to bring the character style out here too so we can see both styles, the paragraph styles and the character styles. I'm going to highlight the light dishes, and that is a character style. I'll highlight the main course, and that is a character style. Then I'm going to highlight the rest of this text, which I know is a paragraph style, food items. Okay, and I'll do the same here and make it food items. Okay, so now it's just a matter of clicking after, clicking after each item, inserting my cursor and hitting tab, and that pushes that over to the edge. Okay, tab, tab. Same with this. There must have been a tab stop here already because that one's there. Risotto, click, hit tab, tab. So you see how fast it is to format this now. And now everything is formatted exactly the way it is over here. And that's how you're going to do that. You're going to create tab stops with leader dots, and then you're going to assign them paragraph styles and character styles. Now, what I said before about the width of your text box, see if I make this text box wider, these tab stops always stay there. So it doesn't like stretch everything out to the width of this. Now, if you wanted to do that, you're going to have to modify your tab stops. And that's actually fairly easy, because if I take this, if I highlight all this text, and I come up to my, see, you notice it's not recording the typeface because I have two different sizes working here. And but if I go up to type and tabs, okay, you'll see that tab stop right there, okay, where we originally placed it. And it's just really a matter of moving this tab stop out. And you see how it's stretching it out? So if you do alter your text box, you have to go back into your tab ruler and pull out that you have to pull out that tab stop, okay, and reset that tab stop where it is. Okay, so I highlighted all of this. Okay, and you see how it adjusted that tab stop over here. Okay, again, if I wanted to make this wider, and if I pull this out, I reset the ruler. Okay, you can see that this tab stop here, I can pull this out wider and everything kind of widens out. Okay, at the same time, I can make this less and everything goes here. And then I can take my text box and narrow it to there. Okay, it's really not tricky. It does take some practice though, and this is the way you're going to set up that text as paragraph styles and character styles. And when you do it as a style, you can just highlight and make those changes really fast. Okay, so I will explain in class this menu assignment, this menu card assignment, but I wanted to make this video because I will kind of go over that again, tab stops in class as a in-class demo. So that is about it. If you have any questions, we'll talk about this when we do this in class. Okay, so I will see you in class. Take care.